Morning. My name is Jerónimo Silverio. I'm here with Tilcia Peralta, Marielis Vargas, and Julie Jose Duran. We will be discussing the chapter in the book about development of learner language. Learner language is what learners say or write when they try to communicate spontaneously in the language they are learning. Competence is defined as the nature of the mental representation comprising internal grammar of learners. Development refers to the process and mechanisms by which those representations change over time. Interlanguage refers to the language system that each learner constructs at any given point in development. First tradition in the study of learner language is situated in the coinage of the technical term interlanguage. It was influenced by findings that began to accumulate about the acquisition of first language in children and analyzing the language samples that learners produce. Second tradition began in the early 80s when researchers start believing in the possibility of an innate universal grammar. The formalist approach is driven by two tenets. Nativism says that biologically humans are endowed with the basics of grammar knowledge, and modularity says that human mind has a language dedicated module. Interlanguage researchers believe that humans extract regularities and rules from the linguistic data available in their surroundings. They emphasize development over competence, and they rely equally on experimental elicitation of evidence and on free production data. We continue with Dilcia.
Cognitive explanation for the languages. A powerful family of cognitive explanation for how second languages development works in provide by using based emergency theory. These theories are far from unified. Robbins and Ellis 2008, for example, list not only emergencies in dynamic systems, theories but also cognitive linguistics, corpus linguistic, probability and frequency theory, and connections and rational models of languages. Next, please. And formula-based learning of stuff of acquisition. Learners mix apples use of memorized bit a piece of languages. This was Lily Wong Fillmore in 1979 conclusion in her study of 5 Mexican children whose family has had emigrated to California from farm work. She recorded the children's weekly over the year as they interacting in the playroom of their school, and in doing, she documented the gradual transformation from no English at all, the being relative functional in their daily with English-speaking peers. All 5 children were driven by social needs and adopted a general speaker now. Learning learning approach among the children 6 years old, 6 years old, Nora provide to be spectacular successful as languages learning because she excited the faster learning piece of art. Wolfram discovered part of the reason was not a formula-based analysis of the input, which she interlinked sounds through abundant social interaction. In this view, languages acquisition process bottom up from formulas to low-scale patterns to construction in implicitly in inductive process that only verify interactional or strategies. And now, Marielys, continue.
Thank you. There are 4 interlanguage processes that expanding L2 grammar develops. There are simplification, overgeneralization, restructuring, and U-shaped behavior. Simplification reflects a process that is called upon when methods must be conveyed with little language. Simplification may be seen in the little representation of all L2 morphology, when a one meaning, one form mapping is initially assumed by learners, as predicted by Anderson in 1948. Overgeneralization is the application of a form or rule only to contexts where it applies, but also to other contexts where it does not apply. Overgeneralization can be apparently random, or it can be systematic. Restructuring is the process of the organization of grammar knowledge representation. In their review of this concept were a FLA audience. U-shaped behavior, which typically manifests itself as a part of restructuring, and the process is defined by reestablished at a later stage. Next, please. Interlanguage process at work, GSDF. This initially analyzed the function of DA was felicitous because it results in high level of acquired science-like proportion of nouns are used with the in English present when they are specific and known to the hearer. This case shows that interlanguage development is not harvested by instead in predictable, systematic ways, a matter of development. My next partner continue.
Thank you. My name is Julie Duran, and I will continue with the next two topics. The first one, development as variability in systematicity. We have the case of George's negation. George was born in Bogota, Colombia. At the age of 12, he and his family moved to Boston. He had had only 3 months of private English class when he went to Boston. He spoke Spanish at home and English at school. And over 10 months, his knowledge of negation went along a process that involved the restructuring of his representation of negation in English from pre-verbal to post-verbal position. So there's a sample in stage 3 in table 6.2. The other topic is interlanguage before grammaticalization, the basic variety of naturalistic learners. 40 adults who were immigrants in 5 different European countries were studied over 2.5 years as they acquired one of 5 L2s, Dutch, English, French, German, and Swedish. The resulting data amounted to an advance of longitudinal corpus of 15,000 pages of L2 oral transcriptions spanning 30 months of study. Klein and Perdu, 1997. Over the 2.5 years, all learners of the project showed evidence of developing a rudimentary but systematic and fully communicative interlanguage system that was called the basic variety by Klein and Perdu. This meaning-making practice apparently worked for 2/3 of the 40 naturalistic learners investigated in the ESF project. Thank you.